Hello, my happy readers. Welcome to Shed Time Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? Well, I have chosen the most wonderful book to share and one with a very important message. The title is The Flamingo and the Giraffe. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, and the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is H.T. Kazi. Now, we're going to meet the flamingo and the giraffe. They are the best of friends, but they could not be more different. However, they both think that they are the most beautiful and important creatures. Do you think they're right? Shall we read and find out? Once upon a time, two friends lived in a forest very far away. Their friendship was a bit unusual because everyone in the forest tends to stick around with their own kind, and these two could not have been more different. One was a magnificent flamingo with the brightest pink feathers and long legs that he loved to show off. His friend was a very tall giraffe with soft, shiny fur and a pretty pattern of brown spots that looked like precious jewels. They were the best of their tribes and so proud of themselves that they didn't think anyone else deserved their company. The flamingo would fly to sit on the highest tree, and the giraffe would stand by, and they would chat for hours and hours. One day, they decided to go for a long walk. They wanted to escape the usual crowd and dazzle everyone else with their marvelous presents. More importantly, they wanted to know why no one else was as beautiful, clever, or funny as they were, and why the forest was full of so many apparently pointless, unattractive, and silly creatures. Someone must know the answers, the giraffe said. Let's explore the farthest parts of the forest to find out, the flamingo suggested. The giraffe agreed, so the flamingo flew up to sit on the giraffe's back and off they went. On the way, they met a sloth. They tried to ask him their important questions, but he was so slow that they gave up very quickly. Why does he move and talk so slowly? What a waste of time! The flamingo got frustrated. Why are his colours so dull? And what's wrong with his eyes? The giraffe added. The poor sloth was still trying to say something in response, but before he had time to do so, the flamingo and the giraffe were already gone. They thought their time was too precious to waste on such a dim and lazy animal. They were very curious when they met an alpaca because they had never seen one before. Maybe this strange alien creature will know the answers, the giraffe said as he went to the alpaca. It seems like you're very far from home, the flamingo commented. No, this is my home, the alpaca responded, a little offended. My forefathers moved here generations ago, and it's our home now, just as much as yours. But what's with your thick winter coat? It's not winter right now, the flamingo observed. "It seems a bit too old-fashioned to me, to be honest," the giraffe said, even though he secretly loved it. They looked at each other, turned away from the alpaca, and walked off. Then they met a tiger. "Hey, you! What are you up to?" the giraffe asked politely, mostly because he feared the tiger. The tiger sat down and rubbed his belly with his front paw.
"I am trying to get some food, but it keeps running away from me, and I'm so tired,"
he said, looking down with sad eyes.
"Ah, silly tiger, why don't you eat some grass and leaves? They never run away,"
the flamingo laughed.
"But I don't eat grass, I eat meat."
He looked more upset now. They left the tiger quickly, sensing that he might find them appetizing, and making a hungry tiger angry wouldn't be wise. They walked for a bit longer and then stopped, their mouths wide open. A large elephant stood before them. "Oh, elephant, why are you so fat? You would look so much better if you were slim like us." The giraffe was only trying to be helpful. "I am very healthy and don't need or want to be slim like you." The elephant didn't look happy.
"And what about all this mud on you? Why are you so dirty?"
The flamingo was grossed out. "Well, it's my way to keep cool, and my mud mask also keeps my skin hydrated."
"Oh, dear me, with all these wrinkles, I don't think it's doing anything for you."
They moved away, laughing at him. Now they saw some fields and huts in the distance, and the giraffe stopped. "We are getting close to a human settlement. Perhaps we should head back," the giraffe advised alarmingly.
"Can we go just a little further? We still have not found our answers,"
the flamingo insisted. So they went on until they saw a dog. "Dogs are intelligent, so perhaps he knows," the giraffe thought out loud. But the dog just dropped a stick at their feet and sat wagging his tail and lolling his silly tongue.
"Oh, you are just a fool, like the rest. Why are you happy to be a servant to humans?"
the flamingo told him off.
"Humans are my friends, not masters, and we love each other,"
the dog tried to explain, but they moved on. Soon they met a cat sitting on a tree branch.
"I have heard that humans used to worship them, so perhaps she might have the answers."
The flamingo raised his hopes again. But then they noticed she also had a collar on her neck, just like the dog they met. "Even you have become a human servant. What a shame!" The giraffe looked down upon her.
"Oh no, I am more of the master in this relationship."
The cat smiled confidently.
"Master? You wear a collar and are treated like a toy. You don't seem like a master to me."
The flamingo scoffed as they left. There was no point talking to these petty pets. Perhaps it's time to head back. The giraffe looked back. Just then they saw a human wearing a big gold crown with colourful stones on his head.
Oh, he must be a king! He must surely know all the answers!
The flamingo got excited. We can't talk to humans. They are the most dangerous animal. The giraffe was scared.
He looks too old to chase us, especially in these ridiculous clothes and the heavy crown.
The flamingo laughed and flew to the king.
You are a king, so you must have the answers to our questions,
he inquired.
I am afraid I don't, but the boy by the hut with snails on his head surely does.
With that, the king left, leaving them confused.
How can a boy with snails on his head know more than a king?
And why does he have snails on his head? Curious to find the answers, they decided to walk until they found the hut with the boy who sat under the tree by the pond. By now they were quite hungry, and the tree and the pond were full of delicious food.
Be my guest and eat all you want,
said the boy with a kind smile. The giraffe ate leaves from the tree, while the flamingo had lotus from the pond. Once they were done with their supper, they thanked the boy for his generosity. The flamingo brought him a beautiful lotus flower from the pond as a gift, which was rather unusual for him. Even the giraffe was surprised. Perhaps the good company was already having a positive impact on him. "What brings you here?" the boy asked.
We feel like we are the best specimens from the best species. We are even better than you because we are not dangerous and are obviously better looking. We wonder what the point is of all these other silly, unattractive, or lazy creatures,
the flamingo said a bit rudely. The boy took a deep breath, smiled, and replied, "Let's leave our judgments and opinions aside for a bit. Beauty and power can mean different things to different people. But nothing is useless in this universe, big or small. We are all connected and depend on each other. What truly makes us beautiful is kindness and compassion." They both looked at each other as the boy continued. "Imagine how it would feel if you were told the things you say to others." "Oh, it feels terrible," the giraffe replied after a pause as he looked down.
"Yes, I am ashamed of myself for saying all those horrible things,"
the flamingo added. "If you could replace your judgment with love, you would find an endless treasure of joy that never runs out," the boy said with a smile. The giraffe and the flamingo's hearts suddenly felt full of happiness they had never experienced before. They thanked the boy, and as they were about to walk away, The flamingo turned.
Can I ask you a question? You are just a boy. How do you know more than a king?
The boy smiled. Age and status do not define wisdom, but wise are those humble enough to accept that they don't know everything. The giraffe hesitated for a bit and then asked,
Why do you have snails on your head?
The boy laughed. Maybe he was expecting a more philosophical question. Well, they decided to make my head into their home, and I enjoy their company. Don't they look beautiful?
Yes,
You all look beautiful and very happy together, they replied with genuine smiles. The boy and the snails were happy to hear that.
I think we need to apologize to everyone we have hurt,
The flamingo said as they returned.
yes, we can't undo the harm, but we can be better in the future. It's more fun to laugh with than at others,
The giraffe concluded.
Honestly, I already feel so much better.
The giraffe smiled.
Well, you look better too,
The flamingo noticed.
So do you. Perhaps it's the kindness that makes us glow inside out.
The giraffe smiled. So the flamingo and the giraffe walked back with a new energy and their hearts full of joy that they couldn't wait to share with everyone. What a wonderful story that was! I'm so glad that both the flamingo and the giraffe realized that bullying all the other creatures and thinking that they were better than them was not the right thing to do. It was far better to show kindness and understanding that all the creatures were all equal, just like you and me. We are all so very different, but we are all equal. Nobody is better than another person. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow, and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye.